Hey guys, I'm here. Welcome back. Today we just got our first trailer for Joker 2, Folie À Deux, and I've been really curious about this movie because we've been hearing a lot of things about what this movie is actually going to be like, especially following up the massive success of the first film. Everything we've been hearing feels like it's going to be very different and very distinctive and setting itself apart from that first film, which in and of itself is just a risk above just trying to catch lightning in a bottle twice. I'm very curious to see what this film is going to be like. I'm one of the people that did enjoy the first film quite a bit, and I'm wondering if because of these differences, maybe this will kind of turn on some of the people that maybe didn't like the first film. But with that all said, guys, let's go ahead and jump into the trailer and see what they have to deliver. Here we go.
Hey Fleck, you got a joke for us today?
Oh, so she's already in here.
Music to make us whole.
Okay, that's a change.
To balance the fractures within ourselves.
I'm nobody. I haven't done anything with my life like you have.
Inspired by what he's done.
Let's get out of here.
What
That's interesting. Oh, whoa.
Tell us, what's changed, Arthur?
I'll tell you what's changed. I'm not alone anymore. That's what we should be talking about.
Let's go.
I want to see the real you.
Nice. Wicked. October 4th. Let's go. I'm really curious about that. One thing that really strikes me, because I was wondering how they were going to incorporate the musical element of it, because, you know, obviously they've been talking about that for a while now. That's been one of the main things that have been circulating about the movie, is it's going to have some kind of musical component. I mean, the casting of Lady Gaga alone, not that that's a guarantee that there's musical stuff involved, because she's been in projects, she's acted where there's been no ties to music at all within what she was performing in. But, you know, obviously that's the talent they were leaning into, and I like the musical therapy of it all, because I like that aspect. It's actually a pursuit I almost followed up on when I was in college, trying to figure out what exactly I wanted to do. Musical therapy was one of the things I was considering at one point. Like, music really does access a part of the brain that kind of helps you kind of connect a lot of different things you can't without it. It's just a lot of fun. In general, and it seems like that's what they're trying to do here. They get their tenants to, you know, sing along, to perform. It brings them together and helps kind of get them out of their shell, as well as exposes them to the kind of frequencies of the music itself and the parts of your brain that kind of it activates. And that's what kind of brings them together here. But then in their kind of dissociations, which plays upon like his fantasies we would see in the original film, where, you know, he would be sitting on his mother's bed watching watching De Niro's TV show, and then he would imagine himself being there in the audience, or imagining something he might want to act out himself. And that's kind of where they're having these shared hallucinations, these shared visions together, as they're coming together in their own kind of fractured way, filling in those gaps. Especially with Harley in this iteration appearing to not be his psychiatrist or psychologist, whatever, while working on him, falling for him in that way. She's just another person in here, and maybe she was at one point or whatever, but that's just not what kicks off their relationship. She is inspired by the movement that he kind of created in the last movie, and now he's like, I haven't done anything important with my life, not like you have, or whatever her line was. So she's already kind of infatuated with the idea of him, especially considering how the last film ended, especially with him being lifted up on that pedestal just before everything else happened. And that's also assuming that none of that was also an hallucination, because there is that interpretation of most of the film itself, with especially the climax being something that was conjured up in his mind as well. I mean, maybe we'll get some confirmation of this, or maybe it'll still be left up to a whole other level of interpretation we haven't even come close to understanding just yet. But either way, their shared musical journey will be the way they experience the world together. They are making music. He's found somebody who understands him and kind of shares, I would assume, in at least his outlook, or maybe shares similar issues as him. And through that, he finally has this partner that he can dance with, sing with. And that's what happens when we saw it, them kind of having their little like things center stage with the spotlights and everything, and they're dancing and twirling, and then it cuts and they're just in the rain out in the street. I'm wondering if there's going to be a lot of that where we're seeing like the world from their perspective, and it's like them on a stage with everybody watching and observing and looking up to them and watching the show they are putting on, their performance. Meanwhile, outside perspective, it's just chaos, and it's just not these glam and glitz that we're seeing. I'm curious if that's going to be the direction and way that this is utilized. I'm also curious what the song choices are going to be. Obviously, we got a taste of it here, at least one of the tracks. But I'm wondering what overall it's going to be like, because they did, like, one of the most recent comments was this, it's going to be like a jukebox musical is one of the ways they kind of described it. So I imagine it's something kind of maybe along the lines of Moulin Rouge or something like Rock of Ages. I'm just very intrigued about finally seeing this, as well as all the different like breakdowns and interpretations as well, because that was a lot of fun thing about the first one as well. Whether you liked it or you didn't, I had a lot of fun going through and just seeing all the people's different reads on the movie itself. I know this one has a much higher budget than the last one, so already on the risk they are taking of following up that majorly successful film and then doing this again with a higher budget, as well as I think there's like a general distaste for musicals and anything leaning that direction at all, which is sad to me because I love them to death. Being a theater kid myself, I was dabbling around in a lot of that anyway. So, I don't know, that might just be me, but come on, people, get some culture in your lives. Not saying the Joker is culture, but musicals in general is what I mean. Anyway, I don't think that should just be an automatic turnoff, and I know it is for some people, which is one of the other things that's like, hey, this is a big old gamble to swing that direction. I don't know. I'm very interested to see how this risk pays off or doesn't. I don't know. But either way, I'm excited to see it for myself, and whatever happens, happens. But guys, what did you think of the trailer? I'd love to hear from you all, so sound off the comments. Let me know your thoughts down below. We'll carry the conversation after the video. Hope you enjoyed the reaction. If you did, leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe if you're not already. Before we go, I want to shout out our channel legends: Manny Sher, Ryan, Karen, York, Coruscant, Melita, Robert Anguiano, Jeffrey Hale, Jake and Cheryl, Eric Official, Casey Wood, Russell Crockett, Justice Smith, and Brendan Boyd. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. That's it for this video, guys. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care, everybody.